Do we want to do self-introductions?
Sure. Guess we're
Just
gonna get
figure
to go for...
as much pre-prep as we can get is probably best, as far as like the flow of
Yeah,
commentary.
get as much out of the way in series as we can. Alright, looks like we're gonna be live soon. Just a disclaimer, by the way, there's a very unlikely chance that I'm gonna get an important call that I need to take. But I hope that's not gonna be the case.
You just get your call in the middle of the Ridley fight.
Yeah, I'd have to quit anyways once that's happening, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, Mello says we can do our intro before we start.
Yeah. I guess we should probably still start pretty early just because we're so far behind.
I'm cool with whatever.
Alright. Yeah, let's just get like a quick intro out of the way and count down. And I guess we technically don't need anyone to count down. We can just count on ourselves. Oh, we're live. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to the free player RBO race for the Metroid Marathon for Super Metroid. My name's Ponk.
Hi, Ponk.
Hello, and with me here is ShinyZeni and sloaters27. What's up, guys?
Hi.
Hello.
Alright.
I'm ShinyZeni. I've got a world record in this category, so I'm definitely going to lose this race. So don't watch my stream, please.
Yeah, Ponk and I don't have world records, so we probably won't win this race, but...
Alright, are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Alright, I'll do a countdown from 5 on go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck.
Good luck.
Alright, so I think we had a few RBO categories during this event already, but just to get a quick rundown, RBO stands for Reverse Boss Order, which in this game includes the 4 major bosses you need to beat in order to unlock the final area of the game. So that's Create, Phantoon, Draygon, and Ridley that you need to kill in reverse intended order. And unfortunately there are some difficulties with that because there are only 2 suit upgrades in the game, which give you invincibility to heat and allow you to move freely in water. However, both these suit upgrades are locked behind the first 2 intended bosses, so we need to do a bunch of heated and underwater areas without any suits.
Yeah, and by the time we actually have access to the suits, we're not even going to pick them up because we're already past all the sections that need them.
Wait, we're not picking up safety value or what?
Come on, Ponk.
Does any of you have chat open? Just realizing I cannot answer any questions if there are any. Oh wow, that's a terrible scope. $44.94.
45 something.
45 something here as well.
Dang. Already behind. Let's see if I can get the chat really quick.
So I think for the most part, all of us are going to be basically running the same route. We're going to be doing what's called the double Norfair route. We're going to go to Norfair early on to pick up some items, then go back into Brinstar and Criteria to pick up some extra items before heading back to Norfair again to fight Ridley. There's probably going to be some small alterations, though, between all of us, depending on what safeties we want to pick up and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah, my double Norfair route is a little bit different, but it's still a double Norfair route compared to. I actually ran this category at AGDQ 2019, and the route that I'm doing is completely different than that one. So
basically, the point that you really want to look out for is entrance of Lower Norfair, because that's where all the routes are going to be syncing up. Which doesn't mean that we're all gonna, well, not really. It's still gonna be slightly different on Zeni's side, but that's really the big sync point, I guess.
If anybody did watch my GDQ run, I'm going to be going for a trick here in just a minute. It's going to diverge our routes a little bit. We call it Task Tank or Taco Tank. It was originally found by a tasser who goes by Takojin. So that's why we call it that. Basically, it's a triple frame perfect trick. But even if you do it right, there's a 50% chance you won't get it. So it's a good chance I'm actually going to lose time on it, but I go for it every time. So
yeah, the 50% chance thing is a game mechanic called collision oscillation, where basically if you hit two different tiles at the same time, the game will only recognize one of these tile collision checks. So basically it's every time a coin flip. The same thing goes for other things like elevators, for example. If one of your feet is on an elevator tile and the other is on a solid tile and you try to activate it, it's basically a coin flip every time if you actually activate it or not. It can be pretty annoying, especially if you lose coin flips multiple times in a row. God, I am so terrible.
I don't know, Ponk and I are in the climb at the same time.
nice.
Good job.
So that was I think it's like a 426 grab, which is about even in terms of time loss or time gain.
Another nice thing about the Task Tank is that you get the extra missile pack at the start for Brinstar.
Yeah, it kind of streamlines the beginning of the game a little bit.
So one thing you're going to see on sloaters27 very soon is that after we go for Terminator, we're going to be missiling the pirates on the way down, like any percent near up to us. The reason for that is that we're going to get a reserve tank very, very soon, and unlike, basically the idea is that we need full health in order to fill that reserve tank in the first place, so we want to conserve as much health as possible before we actually farm up our reserve tank. Since unfortunately, refills don't refill reserve tanks.
I'm really glad you said that because I forgot about that.
Heck! God dang it.
I may have had to take a visit to the health refill.
And how's that health refill called, Sloaters?
I think it's called like Red Tower Energy Refill or something.
Oh, okay. I see.
Fun fact, the route that I do actually has that refill routed in. So Sloaters, I think you're kind of required to start running my route at some point.
Dang. Called out.
Feels good enough, man.
So the reason we call that refill Sloaters refill, well, it's basically started off with a meme where I made fun of Sloaters because he always had to take that refill, which in this route is not really optimal. And then at some point someone may or may not have edited the wiki page for that room, and kind of stuck. Ah, heck, I'm gonna miss that. Oh, I am so good at this game. That was a beautiful knockball. There we go. Sorry. Oh, come on. So you're gonna see that we're gonna be picking up a few drops here on the way. Really what we're hoping for is super missiles and big energy drops, because the farm that we're gonna take to fill up the reserve is kinda slow. And getting a big health drop or a super drop can literally save like 2 seconds, just because we need to farm singular enemies that could take a little bit to respawn.
The route that I run, actually, I won't have to stop to farm. So that'll save me a little bit of time.
I did not press left there.
Dude. Having a little trouble getting out of charge there.
Another big difference that you're going to see is that Sloaters and I are not going to be picking up Spacer, whereas Zenny is going to be picking up Spacer.
Unfortunately, I took a bit more damage than I wanted to, so Punk's probably going to get a little bit of an edge on me.
If I ever get into the
farm station.
opening...
Also, I will be going up Red Tower to get power bombs early, whereas Ponk and Sloaters, I believe, immediately go down.
So I got 2 missile drops here, which is insanely unlucky. That just costs time. God dang it, this elevator time. So yeah, also we had a gentleman's agreement on specific safety saves, so...
Yeah, we're allowed to take others, but we've all agreed to take at least 4 specific ones.
Yep. Which really, this category is really hard. There's a lot of sections where one mistake means death, so... Since this is a race for a marathon, I'm gonna take those safeties.
This first save we're gonna take in particular, it's probably one of the tougher hell runs in the run, actually. With only 2 E-tanks and a reserve tank. You can do it without the reserve tank, but you kind of want it anyways, because it'll help out with the next hell run. But it's pretty common to die during this one and the following one.
If you ever want to really practice that hell run, just go for Croc RTA World Record, and you're gonna have a lot of fun with it.
Ooh, nice, I got that mock wall. So I'm gonna manually activate my reserves here. The reason being, if your reserves auto-trigger,
Oh, nice.
in a room like this, you'll actually still take heat damage, and you'll lose 25% of what was in your reserve. So, yeah, whenever health is going to be really tight, we're going to want to use our reserves manually to avoid that.
The really annoying thing about that room that Sloaters and I just refilled our reserves in, it's called Rising Tide, is the fact that the enemies at the start have movement RNG. So they'll sometimes jump high and sometimes jump low. And if you get that mark ball like we did, sometimes it just doesn't pay off because you're going to jump right into him, or you have to stop and they just deal so much damage. It's just really annoying.
Now this room Ponk and I are in right now, the Bat Cave, we're going to want to farm our health back up, as well as our reserve tank. And on our way to Speed Booster and back, if we get a little lucky, we'll be able to not trigger that reserve tank, and that'll speed up our farming again on the way out.
Also, this is like the only instance where arm pumping makes like a huge difference, because arm pumping here saves us really just a few energy, but these few energy will decide if we have to trigger that reserve or not, and triggering the reserve will lose a lot of time. So arm pumping actually doesn't only save frames, but like actual seconds here. And I got skating. Nice.
So I actually am gonna have to rely on some RNG here, and there's a good chance it's not gonna work out. Yeah, so I gotta reset actually.
Oh dang.
I was short a super because I co-jacked earlier. I didn't realize it, so
It's bad.
it's a pretty big time loss for me.
So this hell run that I'm in right now is probably my nemesis in terms of hardest hell run. It's just double changes, like an annoying room.
There we go.
Alright.
I got 3 super drops from Novas just barely.
Nice!
Very uncommon.
Oh no. Okay, so I got hit there, so I'm gonna use my reserve manually here. Oh boy, this is gonna be rough. Should be good. Alright. Oh, this is bad. What's the minimum amount of energy you need again to make the jump to Croc? D-Tank? Is it 35? What else it did?
That's a good question. Oh, well, forgot I had wave beam.
Oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah, I use a lot of time in this life. Gotta get that Croc So yeah, getting that energy tank blade is not the end of the world, it's just not optimal. Also, I'm gonna get health drop like Croc here. Yeah, I could also pause these, but I'm not gonna do that.
So another little route divergence you're going to see here is Ponk and Sloaters opted to go fight Crocomire right now. I'm actually going to be coming back to do that later.
Yeah, and Sloaters and I are gonna get our first power bomb peg here, Croc.
And the fact that I went up Red Tower to get my power bombs early actually is why I'm able to run this route in the order that I am and not go to Crocomire right now.
Yeah, the thing is, unless you do Moondance, a lot of the cleanup in Brinstar requires you to get one of these 2 power bomb packs. So, basically required to do one of the 2. Nice, got the muck ball. I keep wanting to split, but it's not the Can I get the best knockball in the game? I can.
So you heard Ponk mention Brinstar cleanup just a minute ago. I've started that at this point, and basically the goal here is to get as many resources as we can to be able to survive Lower Norfair. So we need a number of energy tanks and super missile packs to get through the Hell runs and the Ridley fight. That's what we're focusing on collecting.
I won!
Okay.
If you guys hear a little kid in the background, that's my son. He's sitting here with me.
He's cute.
He is cute.
Alright, let's see if I remember how to do this. I do. So yeah, coming up for me is the Retro Brinstar part of the cleanup, and this is the part where I could save some time if I would have done the task tank thing, because then I wouldn't have to go all the way to the right now. Since I didn't do that, I'm going to do that now. Since that E-Tank's pretty fast to grab, there's really no reason not to get it. But in many cases, what you'll see when people like optimize RBO, like besides movement optimizations, is cutting items and cutting safeties, but really there's like a minimal amount you will need anyways. Like you'll need your 15 power bombs, you'll need your 6 energy tanks, you'll need your 20, I guess 20, yeah, that's reasonable. Supers, so. These few
Something you're going to
things
see
that
on my
are,
route
like,
here. It's pretty uncommon. Sorry to cut you off, Ponk. We're actually going to be going up Terminator backwards. That's kind of a weird thing to see.
Punk, you're skipping Gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do for a little bit of safety, I'm actually going to go up back to the landing site, and I'm going to pick up an extra power bomb pack and an extra E-Tank and Gauntlet. And that's just a safety thing. I don't normally do that in my runs, but since it's a marathon setting, that's just kind of one of the safeties you can pick up to make it the Ridley fight a little less scary.
Yeah, I'm gonna be picking up one more tank and one more of each ammo than I would in PB attempts. So this is gonna pick up 2 more E-Tanks and 1 more power bomb pack than you would in PB attempts, if I'm not mistaken. So just like marathon safety like that. Oh wait, what am I doing? I literally just talked about this. When is reverse RBO? Of course, that had to come. I think Gauntlet skip saves around 1.5 minutes. Which might seem like a lot, but if you compare that to Ridley Death, which is significantly more, you might want to argue in favor of either. Ah, come on. Wow.
So I'm gonna do a little trick here. You'll see this in 100% a lot, called a wraparound shot. I'm basically gonna be shooting a wave beam shot somewhere off the screen that hits, I don't know the full explanation, some like copy of the room that somehow opens the door to Gauntlet.
Yeah, basically
Hit the door there, and now the door on the left side of the room is going to be open, so I can just spark right through, just like that.
Basically every room has infinite copies to its side, but the items in that room copies, like the doors, still have the same ID. So if you open the room copy door, it will open all copies of that door.
The refill that I just grabbed is the Sloaters refill.
Feels good, man.
Sloaters feels good, man.
Oh, I did this. This isn't 100%.
Let's see if I can get the machine gun strat. I did, nice.
Alright, so I'm going to be heading to Crocomire. The reason I grabbed that Sloaters refill is because we have to grab ice first. And the majority of the rooms between here and where Crocomire is are heat rooms. So I need a lot of health in order to make this work.
I angled. God dang it. So one thing I just
One
tried-
thing
sorry.
worth noting is when you get Speed Booster, if you're using it in a heated room, there's actually a glitch that causes it to deactivate. But you can prevent that from happening if you release the dash button after you activate Speed Booster. So we might see something kind of funny looking here in just a minute.
It's actually a really weird glitch, because it's not triggered by any game mechanics, it's based purely on sound of the heat damage as far as I understand, because that same glitch can also happen if you get like grabbed by B-toms. So it doesn't actually have to do anything with the heat damage, it's just purely a sound thing as far as I understand.
Alright.
Should I get waterway tank? Nah, whatever. So there's another E-tank that I could get down here, the Speed Booster, the waterway tank. I will skip it. I think Sloaters will get it later.
Yeah.
It has like one of the coolest down grabs you can do, in my opinion. Alright, let's see if I can get Blockbuster. It's always a fancy looking jump. No. Yes. Oh no, I was supposed to get waterway. Oh my, I'm an idiot. God.
So Ponk's going to be doing a really difficult double Norfair now.
Oh my god, why am I so dumb? I wanted to skip Gauntlet, not what? Ah.
Punk's running the risky route so that he has a chance to beat me, because he's never beat me in an RBO race ever. So
So this is like the minimal amount of eatings that you need for this to work. And I could slap myself right now for doing this. God dang it. Oh. God, that means I need to do static dive.
Alright, so now that I'm done with the croc fight and I've collected grapple, that's actually everything that I'm going to be collecting before I go to Lower Norfair. So
Oh.
we're just going to be doing one last farm here, and then I'll be grabbing a safety save on our way.
Nice, I'm ahead of you.
Oh.
Didn't want to be, but...
From here on out, there shouldn't be any other route divergences between us.
Sloaters, do you want to go over lava dive really quick?
Go over lava dive?
Just go, like, explain lava dive.
Yeah, so basically, lava has strange physics. It's kind of like water, but it's not. You're actually able to wall jump up in lava,
Nice.
and the way this room is designed, it's actually not too difficult with high jump boots. So even though we don't have a gravity suit, you can wall jump off the Namahaze there, and it's not too bad. And you can see Punk got up there without too much trouble.
Yeah, that one that I just did there is actually the risky version of that, where I skip one flame cycle. And I didn't want to take that save, but since I'm on low amount of E-tanks, I will take it. Nice thing about elevators, you still take heat damage, but the reserve doesn't kick in until you're like free to move, so I don't die there.
Another thing you're going to notice is that Ponk and Sloaters are going to be pausing to deactivate Speed Booster for their lava dives. And the reason for that is because lava actually kills your horizontal speed if you have it activated. Also, I just got fireballed, so I'm dead.
Oh.
But the strat that they do, basically they morph as they're falling into the lava, and they bounce as a morph ball down to the bottom of the lava, and then they can jump up. This saves a lot of health if you do it correctly. It is a little bit slower though, just because of the pause transition.
Yeah.
So I opt not to do that, but it does put me in a risky situation in terms of health.
Yeah.
If I'd been hit by a fireball, I would have been dead either way, so that didn't really make a difference there.
You will notice that Zeni will have to Crystal Flash before the elevator, while I was able to do it just after the elevator. It doesn't really make a difference, just because the health refill is so close that you don't really need the extra health, but it's still a thing.
Yeah, if you could find a way to Crystal Flash and skip that health refill, that would make a difference, but
I'm gonna play this.
it's not something I've been able to work out, so.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
So the
play
reason
this
I got
safe.
hit by that fireball actually was because we use camera manipulation here to despawn some of the fireballs, and I screwed that up last time, so.
So this was a nice trick.
Alright, we made it up.
Just escaping the GT pit there with only speed, high jump, and screw by jumping at a not super precise but kind of precise spot. Just makes getting out of there really convenient. Time for GT. So GT fight in itself isn't really that bad. The problem with the GT fight is drop RNG more than anything.
Oh, okay, that's good enough.
Did somebody explain the gate glitch?
No.
Do you want me to do that, or does somebody
Yeah.
else? Okay. So I'm going to be going backwards through a green gate right here. The way that works is if you shoot a super missile at the right time as you're approaching the gate, the game actually applies Samus's forward speed to that super missile, so it doesn't actually register as colliding with the gate. So it just puts it on the other side of the gate, and we can get through backwards that way.
And
Oh crap.
dead.
Well, that sucks.
I have to use my reserve. That's annoying. So using your reserve here is like absolutely terrible, especially with this amount of E-tanks, but didn't really have another choice other than resetting, and I don't feel like doing that.
So something interesting that's actually worth mentioning here. The main reason that I grabbed Spazer is actually for this fight right here. When I've timed it, Spazer actually saves about as much time in this fight as it takes to grab. So between that and also the missiles that it allows me to skip, that's why I grab it.
Yeah, to the question in chat about the GT super missile, all the other super missiles that are available are going to be like in Maridia or wrecked ship, which we can't go there. So really, the GT one is the best option if we don't want to do our early Maridia, which is very slow.
I got out of the GT fight to the refill with 1 HP.
Good enough.
Got a bit of lag there. Timed that wrong.
Oh god, this is so terrible. I want my reserve back. Okay. Wow! Wow, seriously. How did I not spin jump there? Come on. So it turns out if you don't screw attack into a flame, it's actually gonna kill you. Ugh, that's annoying. At least I can get my reserve back.
Okay. Don't worry, Punk, I just totally screwed up that room too.
Feels good, man. Oh, wow. Okay, that was terrible.
So, since Punk took a death, I was in the lead, but then I took a death, so...
And I took another death because I cannot Crystal Flash. And we haven't even gotten to Ridley yet. Fun.
Slow and steady wins the race, boys.
You know what,
saved
floaters?
after the elevator? Or not?
You and I are gonna have a talk after this, okay?
Zeni, have you saved after the elevator?
Oh, well, I got karma instantly after saying that, so...
Oh yeah, I heard the death. Zeni, did you save after the elevator?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Or before the elevator.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Alright, let's see if I can get this hit glitch a little bit better this time.
No! Alright, so I just screwed up the green gate. The worst part about that is actually the extra super missiles that I had to use to get through it. And then on top of that, I laid a power bomb at the wrong time, so gonna be a little tight here.
Are you on 15 power bombs?
Yeah, I run 15 power
Okay.
bombs.
So yeah, the thing with 15 power bombs is that like you're really just like relying a lot on drop RNG, especially like you can do it even with like the worst drop RNG, but it's just so much better if you actually get like decent drops and don't have to waste any extra. It's just like makes everything so much safer. Like really good GT power bomb drops can make a whole world of difference, especially in the upcoming segment. Alright, this looks so much better now. Can't believe I forgot that tank.
GT's giving me very nice drops. these fights. Not quite as good as last time in terms of supers, but the main reason for that is because I failed the gate so badly, so. Alright, let's try this again. We also do have more power bombs this time, which is actually more important, so more important for my route.
Oh my god, yes, these drops. That was beautiful. Okay. I actually have my reserve this time. Okay.
Alright, so we're a little tight coming into this room. I think we should be okay, but there's a good chance I'm going to need to use my reserve manually.
Is this a spark?
Not all of it, just a portion of it.
Yeah, that one reserve tank that we have is really, really powerful if used correctly.
Oh, gosh. Alright. So in a number of races here, I've actually managed to fall on the spikes in this room, and that is actually one of the worst things that can happen. So normally I would actually just run off that platform immediately, but I decided to play it safe and wait for the Firefly to finish his round before I did that.
Yeah, these spikes deal 60 damage, and especially with this amount of E-tanks, it's like, you really want those.
So I'm actually in a very fortunate position. I had so much health for the GT fight, I was actually able to like farm my supers all the way back up before the fight ended, so I won't actually have to farm it all on the way out of here.
And this is the most important save of the run. It's a little bit unoptimal to take this. Well, obviously because it costs time, but also because the Keanders respawn, so that's going to generate extra lag.
So one of my favorite things about this double Norfair route actually is the fact that you have 25 supers makes the Ridley fight much easier and much faster. So even though it does take a long time to go and grab that extra super missile pack, it's worth it in some ways. It is technically still slower. The time that's made up isn't enough to justify it completely, but makes for a less stressful Ridley fight for sure.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I'm a huge fan of a Ridley strat called Permapogo, which is basically a consistent strat to manipulate Ridley throughout the entire fight. And with 25 supers, you can consistently do that Permapogo, and if you play well, theoretically always win the fight, no matter what. So these extra 5 supers are just that powerful.
A lot of the Ridley fight is based on how you're able to react to the patterns that he gives you. And so if you are able to manipulate him to give you a consistent set of patterns, or if you know how to deal with all of his patterns, those are the most important things for survival through the fight. What you're seeing me do here is I'm farming up so that I have full supers. The most important reason that we grab Grapple Beam actually is probably for that farm. because you can use grapple beam to farm items.
Yeah, I actually screwed up a little bit, so I'm going to be farming here a lot more, even if I already have full ammo. And the reason for that is this farm is so efficient. If you do it well, you can actually farm up health. It's slow, but it's one of these things where if you get like a extra 100 energy entering Ridley, that just makes all the difference.
So I took a dip into the acid there, but because of the extra super missiles that I had, we're actually totally fine here. So. One of the main things that we want to pay attention to coming out of Ridley here is our power bomb count. If we have 12 or more, we can actually skip what are called the power bombs of shame. And other than that, we just want to make sure that we have enough items to do a crystal flash on our way out here. So I need to make sure that I have 10 super missiles or more.
This is ridiculous.
And that's why I stopped to farm those pirates there.
Come on, bro.
So if we didn't have enough power bombs, there's actually a pack right up here that we would go and grab on the left. But since I have enough, then we don't need to worry about that.
I should have just reset rather than farming here. Oh wow, come on.
Up here in the next room, I'm going to be taking some intentional damage. And the reason for that is so that I can do that crystal flash that I mentioned. In order to do a crystal flash, you have to have less than 50 energy total. That includes whatever is in your reserve tanks. Also, I'm going to be going for a trick here called a spike suit. Basically what it does is it stores a shine spark for you so that you can use it wherever you would like. Got it.
Unfortunately, with the way I do the Ridley fight, I actually use a lot of missiles, and I actually had to use even more because I was short on supers. So what that means is I need 10 regular missiles coming out of here or else I can't crystal flash. So for me it's going to be a bit RNG dependent. The Holtz, the blue flying guys in the next room have the best shot, I believe, at giving me missiles, so I may have to farm that room a couple times if I don't get the drops. So I'll need at least 2 drops there. Ouch.
So I have a shine spark stored here, which means that I can't do any jumps straight up in the air. Normally what you would do to farm these bugs is place a bomb and then jump up to time. But while I technically can do that, it's actually a bit harder in terms of inputs, so I opt to just kill them with screw attack here instead. The reason that we're farming here actually isn't for health. We want to have full super missiles here, and the reason for that is for the botch wound fight that's going to be coming up soon.
Did we all get Ridley first try?
Yep.
Congrats. We're actually good at this game.
Man, I am getting awful luck.
I'm also going to be doing a trick here, entering Maridia. Basically, when you're inside the tank, before you break it in Maridia, you have your regular physics. But after the tank is broken, you have water physics. And so if you jump when the tank breaks, Samus will actually jump really high up in the air. And the reason I morphed there was because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to shoot up to open that door without activating my Shine Spark there. So. Shoot. You'll notice that I'm doing some straight jumps here without actually activating the Shine Spark like I mentioned earlier. The reason for that is because when you're underwater, there are actually some additional movement options that you have that you can do that will prevent it being used. One of which is that if you are holding the shoot button when you jump, it won't activate for whatever reason.
God dang it, dude, these key hunters.
Also, if Samus is in a falling state, it won't activate.
Which is unfortunate, at least in some scenarios. Because that could actually be pretty useful.
Those snails do a lot of damage, so you
Yes.
want to avoid running into them if possible.
I keep in
I
mind
actually got really lucky
that,
with how that played out.
keep in mind that Maridia is the second last area of the game, and you're already supposed to have your second suit upgrade. So even if they're not designed to deal a lot of damage, the fact that they deal 4 times as much damage as they are supposed to when you enter that area just makes like everything in Maridia deadly.
So Botwin can give us 4 different patterns. We can one round all of them except for the top one, so we'll see what he does. Nice. Another nice thing about the double Norfair route and having 25 supers. Oh, by the way, I'm about to use my Shine Spark here that I've been storing, which that allows us to break through those speed blocks and skip a very slow morph ball tunnel. So coming in here, we need to make sure that we have at least 14, I think it's 14 supers for the Draygon fight. And if you only have 20 supers, the likelihood of that happening is basically completely dependent on the RNG that Botwin gives you with his drops. But since we had 25, that's much less of a factor. So that's another general time save that this route provides for you. It's not guaranteed by any means.
Yeah, Botwin can give you really good drops, but he's one of the bosses that is more known for giving you like really trashy drops, like a lot of health and like maybe 1 or 2 ammo drops, even if you're not on health pump range.
Okay, fortunately, my second go around Ridley, he actually gave me enough missiles, so I do not have to rely on RNG this time.
Why did
So it should be a
Why did you have to
pretty
send
easy
around?
exit. I didn't get enough missiles on the way out. I got one drop from like loading the room 5 times.
Dang.
So I'm in the Draygon fight now. This fight's actually really interesting in RBO. You'll notice that I dropped my health below 50. The reason that I'm doing that is so that I can do a Crystal Flash here. If Draygon picks you up in the middle of a Crystal Flash, what happens is the game actually gives you a Shine Spark. And we're going to be using that Shine Spark in order to escape the next room, which otherwise would be impossible unless we were playing on the PAL version of the game.
Yeah.
The next thing that we're going to do is kill Draygon with the grapple beam, which is something that you've probably seen before. One thing that's different about the way that I'm doing it is that I actually activated my Shine Spark before getting grabbed to kill him with the grapple beam. And what that does is give us what's called a blue suit. You'll notice that we're not actually blue because we're underwater. suitless, and the game won't actually give us the blue sprites there because of it. But what this does is it allows us to use a shine spark whenever we would like, but we have to push down first in order to activate it. So I don't actually need to worry about my movement here at all until I'm ready to use my shine spark.
Yeah, the way Zeni and I do the Draygon fight is basically the optimal way. You can do the Draygon escape, the grapple escape with a spark suit instead of only the blue suit, but it's like a lot tighter, a lot more difficult. Sloaters, on the other hand, will do a completely different fight, but with a similar result. Like, he also wants to have his blue suit, but he's going to do a different method where he's going to damage Draygon down to very low health first with the grapple, but then ultimately he's not going to kill her, but instead kill her with a shine spark, which is also going to grant him a blue suit. Downside of that is, well, it's slower, and it's also a little bit risky depending on how you set it up, because you can get chain damaged by Draygon. But the
Something I
concept is
forgot
the
to
same.
mention during my Maridia movement, and this is my bad. You probably noticed me unmorphing, or morphing and then unmorphing and then jumping in midair. The way that works is if you are on an upward swing after using grapple beam, and then you morph and unmorph, for some reason the game puts Samus in a sitting position, and we can actually jump from that position. That's actually very important to escape from Draygon. You probably noticed that I did kind of the same thing there on one of those turrets. It's actually pretty difficult to learn how to do that. It's a pretty nuanced setup, but
yeah, the one
it's very useful.
The one in Draygon's room is definitely a lot harder than the one that you can see right now in the Aqueduct, where with this one you have, like, you can basically do a whole swing around an obstacle, whereas with the Draygon one you gotta get it bounce off a wall and do it basically one-sided. And the thing that Zeni mentions with the sitting position is basically the thing why we want blue suit. It's because if you would do that jump out of the sitting position that the game puts us in, we would activate the spark. You can circumvent that by doing an extra step that puts Samus in a walking position, and we could jump out of that walking position as well. But that's way more tricky to do, and I just killed the Metroid that I need to do the ice clip with. Dang it.
Side note to that, actually, if you're just holding forward, it won't get used in that situation, interestingly. You don't actually have to do a step forward.
Huh. I don't think you went over ice clip, did you?
Over what?
Ice clip.
No, I didn't.
So the thing I just did there is basically crouching, which puts the Metroid at a very specific height, and then jumping onto the Metroid, and that will give Samus just the perfect position to clip through the platform with another jump, which allows us to skip any sort of spark or speed booster upgrade at this point. Which is convenient, because if that wouldn't be possible, we basically all had to do what Zeni already did with the spark suit, but had to use it for that specific instance, because there's not really any other inbounds way to get around that. With major glitches it wouldn't be a problem, but without major glitches it's something very essential to RBO. And since I didn't get the spark suit, or I didn't even go for it, I'm gonna do the small ball mace here.
Missed the best bounce ball in the game, feels bad. One thing you may have noticed is that I actually grabbed Plasma Beam. And you may be wondering if that's actually faster. I actually did go and time it, and it is. Despite the fact that we had already grabbed Spazer, Plasma gives us enough of a damage boost from Mother Brain, etc., that it is still faster to grab it. It also makes the Phantoon fight much easier. So even if it was about the same speed to grab it or a little bit slower, it'd still probably be worth grabbing just for that reason.
Yeah, the two-round Phantoon RBO kill with plasma is absolutely trivial. Like, really anyone can pull that off. Unlike the Doppler fight, which is definitely not as trivial.
Oh shoot.
So Phantoon can give us 3 different patterns: fast, medium, or slow. This pattern that he gave me just now was a slow pattern, which is pretty typical. It's actually a huge source of RNG in the run. And that was a medium pattern.
I forgot I wanted to save here. Alright, there we go. So, Amphitheater, no, not Amphitheater, Coliseum is really nice in RBO, just because of Grapple Beam. If we would not have Grapple Beam, this would actually be way more tricky, because we weren't required to hit certain damage boosts, because it is possible that the Moktroids that you can freeze and use as platforms to get back up again are so far off screen that they never get down again, and as soon as you're at the bottom there, in the sand, there's no way escaping. So having Grapple here is like a very, very nice safety. Makes that room really easy.
Another thing that we grabbed after Draygon is Space Jump. And while this isn't technically required, it actually saves so much time just because of the routing that we're doing here that it's a very important item to grab in the reverse boss order.
Yeah, the thing with Space Jump is that it's a really convenient way to get out of water, because there is a thing called surface space jumps. Basically, if you're in a spin jump position out of water, it allows you to get into the space jump state, which makes it possible to space jump on water surfaces and ultimately get out of water this way, which would otherwise not be possible. Okay. I'm getting really terrible RNG.
It also allows for very swaggy strats, so...
Yeah, that is true.
I'm going to be doing a Moonfall here, using Screw Attack to break through some platforms. A lot of people consider it the best Moonfall in the game.
It kind of is. Alright, so if you want to see the quick grapple, flash suit into blue suit again, I'm going to set it up right now. And my angle button is not... Hello? Why is my angle up button not working? That is concerning. Yeah, okay, now it's working again. That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to reset here. So I cannot... Once I actually get the blue suit, I'm basically screwed, because I cannot be grabbed by Draygon again, which is required for the quick grapple kill, or the grapple kill in general, as long as I have blue suit, because the blue suit is instantly going to get rid of the goo. So I have to reset here in order to get my flash suit back, because I only have enough ammo for one crystal flash, which is going to get Sloater some time to catch up, if he hasn't already.
Yeah, thank you, Punk. I appreciate that.
Haven't heard of you in a while, buddy. How are you hanging there?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little upset about that bad RNG I had. That was pretty unreal. But Maridia's been going pretty smooth for me, so that's good. But yeah, Punk kind of mentioned earlier sort of my Draygon strategy. Rather than damage myself down the Crystal Flash range right now, I'm actually gonna keep my health the way it is, and I'm gonna try to do the quick grapple kill on Draygon, except I'm not gonna let Draygon die. I kind of know how long I need to hold on based on how much health I have, so I'm gonna get her as close as I can to death, and then I will let her grab me in the middle of a Crystal Flash, which will give me the flash suit, which I will use to ultimately kill her. So even though I missed the quick grapple kill, that's alright, I can just kind of wait it out and go for the top turret.
Oh my god, this RNG is trash. Come on, Draygon. One good pattern, that's all I'm asking for.
Okay, so Draygon is pretty close to dying now, so now I want to damage myself down to Crystal Flash.
So you keep getting very unfavorable patterns where the goo spawns in a way that basically puts me in knock state where I cannot jump. At least not high enough to actually get to the turret.
Alright, I took some chain damage, which is a little unfortunate. Unfortunately, with these drops, I can Crystal Flash if I need to.
There we go. Alright, that took way too long.
So I'm on my way to Turian now that I've killed the main 4 bosses. Another reason that having Space Jump is so nice here is that we can do some really fast Turian strats. In the grand scheme of things, they actually don't save that much time, but they do save a little time and they're really fun, so hopefully I don't screw them up.
Oh, you know, I actually need to Crystal Flash here because I don't have enough health to spark out.
There we go. Grapple jump.
I'm gonna save just in case.
Whoa. Okay.
What?
Just the way that I entered the second Metroid room was kind of weird. It manipulated the Metroid in a way that I've never seen before. Alright, so we screwed up some of these strats, so it's okay. Another nice thing about RBO compared to any percent is that we have so many super missiles that a lot of the time we don't need to worry about the drops that the Metroids give us other than health. So we can do some nice, really fast strats for that reason as well.
Oh, am I glad I took that health refill?
So what I just did is called Baby Skip. Normally the game would have that Metroid grab us and drop us down to 1 HP, but if you manipulate it the correct way, you can actually avoid that and it saves quite a bit of time.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! That literally never happened before. That literally never happened before, god dang it. You know what
I'm
happened,
taking
right?
one more safety save here, just because, as I've said previously, the Mother Brain fight is actually, gosh dang it, dude, pretty tough. If you don't know what you're doing, she can definitely screw you up. So I kind of screwed up the zap skip there, but it's okay.
I swear that I don't know that never happened before. I don't know why it happened twice now. Like space
I actually
jumps
died
is
to Mother
failing me.
Brain in my GDQ run, so
not mess up the jump, then we're good. There we go. That's how you leave that room.
Well, I just got onion ringed, I think, to death. Yeah.
Did you save?
All right. Well, I'm glad I saved.
Okay.
Yeah, you might think, you know, 8-tank Mother Brain, no problem, right? But without any of those suits, a lot of those attacks are really deadly, and you still have to, you know, be at least 601.
Seems like it was skip a little better this time.
I also just want to mention that all PBs would have been done by now. Well, Zeni's of course, but...
Some of our PBs would have been done.
Don't you have like a 108?
Ah!
No.
I can't do this right now. Okay, freaking Rinka, man. I thought I understood how they respawn, but apparently not. Alright, cool. I think we're okay. Can't take any damage though. Okay, I'm gonna have to manually activate my reserves here, or we're not going to be able to do stand-up glitch. Let's try this again. I'm gonna laugh when I die again. One of the first races I ever did was an any percent race, and I was pretty far ahead when I got to Mother Brain, but I think I died either 2 or 3 times, and that race actually ended up ending with a tie. It was an SRL tie.
I want to quote my good friend Rumblemans, who says, "How the hell are you supposed to tie in Super Metroid?"
So the last time Ponk and Zeni and I did kind of a marathon RBO race, I actually died to Phantoon, and I survived this time, so I'm pretty happy about that. And I don't know how I died, to be honest. I know people are probably gonna ask that. Yeah, dying to Phantoon and RBO is a thing apparently.
Alright, so we survived the Rainbow Beam phase. So now what's going to happen is the baby Metroid is going to come in and latch onto Mother Brain. Spoilers, sorry. And normally when that happens, the game forces you into a sitting position on the ground. But if you're in the air, you're not actually forced into that position. And this causes what's called a stand-up glitch. We can actually do damage to Mother Brain during this phase to make the final phase of the fight quite a bit faster if you have Plasma Beam. The game actually does another check right about here, where it tries to force you into a sitting position again. So we have to make sure that we're in the air for both of those checks. And once the baby has latched onto you, Mother Brain actually cannot kill you. So.
However, there is a possibility that you get the baby stuck in a position that Mother Brain can't kill the baby either, and that soft blocks the game. Good example would be getting baby stuck in the ceiling.
Once your health is full, the baby stops moving. And so if that happens in the wrong spot, the Mother Brain won't be able to damage the baby. So you can technically save the baby that way, but you can't finish the game.
Can't believe how much time left in the video. Actually, I can. Still can't.
I think ED is commenting that Mother Brain can kill you after the baby has latched on. I actually believed that as well myself until somebody in my own chat told me that she couldn't, and I tried to prove them wrong, and I actually couldn't make myself die. So I'd be interested to see how that works.
I heard, kind of different topic, but I heard that it's possible to kill the baby Metroid, like the baby Metroid during the Metroid skip with power bombs, like an absurd amount. I'm not sure if that's just an urban legend or holds true.
Normally I would have done a diagonal spark up the climb there, which is called the Behemoth Spark, but I actually entered the room in sort of a weird way. So to avoid doing the infamous Zeni Spark, I opted to just go to the right side and do a straight spark up instead.
You know, unless your name is Behemoth, if you have something named after you, it's probably a bad thing.
Oh god. Yes. I can second that. I think all three of us have something RBO specific named after them.
Sorry, Ponk, I had to spite you.
I will never forgive you. Unless you repay me in Mountain Dew.
So I finished the run, so I guess I'll just focus on commentary for the other two, or I can just mute.
GG.
Thank you, guys.
I can't believe I have to do another 3-hour run right after this. I've been rossing. Come on, dude. Thank you. Oh, are you doing the pink Brinstar route to G4?
Yeah. I can't remember which one I normally do. I think it's this one.
I've timed this 3 different times, actually, and every time I've done it, the red tower route was either the same or a little bit faster. But somebody recently told me that when they timed it, green was faster. It really, like, it's such a minimal difference that it's going to come down to your execution, to be honest.
I think, too, most people are probably used to going to G4, like the red tower route, so you already, like, kind of know the movement for that area.
Right.
Whereas going through Brinstar backwards, a lot of people probably aren't familiar with that.
I just love the bounce ball through Loop Bridge the reverse way. It's one of my favorites.
What's the SRL record for RBO?
I
I think you have it, don't you, Paul?
I have it. I think it's a 108? 108, 109. It's definitely something sub 110. I think there was Sloaters and I racing, and we didn't have enough time, so we decided to do a safest race, which was stupid, but it worked. Man, Sephi has too many names on Discord. I cannot remember who to ping. Ah, there we go. The weird number thing. Oh wow, these super drops. God. Oh, this is fine. Actually, wait. Wait. There's 3 more doors. Oh god, I have barely enough ammo if I don't refill. I should refill.
Alright, cool.
The really nice thing about stand-up glitch and RBO is that it's absolutely trivial. No like damaging down or anything, you just like have your health and that's it.
Yeah, it's strange depending on what suits you have or if you don't have suits at all.
Yeah, I would really like to know how to make Mother Brain kill you when the baby's on you. Because I can't make it happen. Does Edie have a comment about it? Anything he wants me to try?
No.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be under our estimate. So
Wasn't?
that's good news.
What was our estimate, anyways?
I think it was 125.
Oh, that might get close.
You know, it's very generous, but you know,
We
that's happen.
we did kind of screw up this race. I forgot to do stand-up. That's great. Just straight up forgot. Cool.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're just everyone finishing is good in RBO. Zeni won. That's what happened to him. No, sorry, we let him win. That's the official version, I think.
All because he decided to save the game.
Yeah. GG stories.
GG.
GG, man.
Imagine missing the last info of the game. Alright, there we go.
Good game.
GG.
GG, man.
Thanks for the race.
Yeah, thank you. It was really fun.
Indeed. Alright, I will...
So, Ponk
Yep.
is doing blindfolded 100% next.
Yeah. I
Nice.
guess I will try it. I'll try to actually get 100% this time.
Hey, you got this, man.
I hope so, thank you. I'll be right back and then we can start. Rossi, wherever you are, I hope you listen.
Alright, well, yeah, so that was reverse boss order. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for the race, Sloaters, and Ponk,
Yeah.
that he's out here.
Always glad to do a marathon RBO race with you guys. We seem
Yeah.
to have a lot of them.
Hopefully it's entertaining for you guys. I know that there's an RBO tournament coming up. I think it's starting next week. So if this was something that you enjoyed watching, keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I guess I will sign off from here.
Yep, good luck to Ponk with the blindfolded 100%. That should be really fun to watch. Thanks
Yeah,
everyone.
definitely
for,
stick around for that.
Yeah, thanks everyone for letting us run this. It was a lot of fun. Well, yeah. See you later.